Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Christofi. Today I'll be telling you about the origins of the Cold War, a timeline of the Cold War, and how the Cold War ended. The wartime alliance between the United States and the Soviet Union began to unravel before the end of World War II. When the war ended, the Red Army occupied much of Eastern Europe. The weakness of Western Europe raised the specter of communism spreading even further. Although the Marshall Plan helped restore Western Europe, other events of the late 1940s kept tension high. The communist coup in Czechoslovakia and the Soviet blockade of West Berlin in 1948, the fall of China to the Soviet A-bomb in 1949, and the Soviet support for the North Korean invasion of South Korea in 1950. The establishment in 1949 of the Western Alliance, NATO, also called North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the 1955 Warsaw Pact between the Soviet Union and the satellites solidified the opposing blocs that shaped the Cold War. The Cold War touched many aspects of American social and cultural life, from the civil rights movement to survivalism, and to Hollywood and even universities. The nuclear threat and the communist menace lurking behind it brought the National Defense Education Act, the interstate highway system, and growing mistrust of government by both liberals and conservatives. In ways sometimes blatant, sometimes subtle, the Cold War left its mark on activities ranging from the art and poetry to movies and comic books. Cold War timeline. From 1945 to 1991, the Cold War dominated internationally. The global competition began in the United States, and the Soviet Union took many forms: political, economical, ideological, and cultural. At times, a constant arms race burst into armed conflict, but overshadowing all was the threat of nuclear war. Despite the vast number of tanks, warships, and other conventional weapons, nuclear weapons defied the Cold War. Soviet planners accepted the possibility of fighting and winning a nuclear war, but the United States policy stressed deterrence by discouraging the use of nuclear weapons and by threatening the use of nuclear weapons by threatening nuclear annihilation and millions of deaths in the world. The wartime alliance between the United States and Soviet Union began to unravel even before the end of World War II. The threat of nuclear annihilation restrained the armed forces of the United States and the Soviet Union from directly confronting each other in battle. During 1989 and 1990, the Berlin Wall came down, borders reopened, and free elections caused communist regimes everywhere in Eastern Europe to fall. During the Cold War, the United States invested heavily in submarine technology to counter a much larger Soviet submarine force. Throughout the 1980s, the Soviet Union fought an increasingly frustrating war in Afghanistan. At the time, Soviet economy faced the continually escalating costs of the arms race. Worry at home grew when the economy faltered under the combined burden. Accepted reforms at home left the Soviet Union unwilling to rebuff challenges to its control in Eastern Europe. During 1990 and 1989, the Berlin Wall finally came down. Borders reopened and free elections caused communist regimes to fall. In late 1991, in December to be exact, the Soviet Union dissolved into its component republics. With stunning speed, the Iron Curtain was lifted and the Cold War came to an end. The end of the Cold War is our common victory. A quote by Mikhail Gorbachev, January 1992. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.